Hello, welcome to Hakuna MaChatter. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look as to exactly how diverse Phase 4 of the MCU really is, or was, because there's always a lot of talk about how it was more diverse than Phases 1, 2 and 3. Kevin Feige himself said this, and there's also a lot of complaints about it being more diverse because, you know, in the first 23 films, only 2 of them not being led by a white man. Grrr, that MCU for wanting to branch out a little bit, am I right? Hey. Now, I already made a video very similar to this, kind of towards the beginning / halfway through of Phase 4 of the MCU, but the projects have been finalized as to what is Phase 4 now, and we've reached the end of Phase 4 with Wakanda Forever, so it kind of only makes sense to go back, take a look, and really dive into this. In that original video, I split things into 2 parts. I looked at the Disney Plus TV shows, and then I looked at the mainstream blockbuster films, and so in this video, I'll be doing exactly the same as that. However, I'm going to kind of lump it all together as well, and I'm also going to include the special presentations, Werewolf by Night and Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Christmas special Christmas holiday, whatever it was they exactly called that. So those are the projects we're looking at, and I'm going to be looking at the lead actors or the lead characters, actors of each of those projects, and they're going to be ones that kind of accounting to the statistics that I am looking at here. And I did something really cool and made pie charts on Canva. It's great. Ta-da! First pie chart. There we go. And you can see that it is split into the binary. As far as I'm aware, we haven't had any non-binary leads in an MCU project. If any non-binary characters, I think probably Sprite in the Eternals has been the closest. But I don't think we've had any outwardly non-binary characters yet, especially not in lead roles. So we're stuck in the binary here. But as we can see, it's not an even split as it probably should be. And everyone that kind of sits there and cries, MCU, MCU. Yo, don't worry. Men are still 62% of the MCU. Feel happy, bro. Feel bloody happy. No, but certainly one thing that Phase 4 of the MCU has done a lot better is to have female superheroes, right? Because it's kind of something, I mean, Phases 1, 2 and 3, you know, we kind of remember Endgame and that shot of all the female superheroes coming together. So it's not as if they weren't there. We're certainly getting more female-led projects, right? In WandaVision, in Ms. Marvel, and She-Hulk, Black Widow. And for the purposes of this video, I counted Kate Bishop in Hawkeye as well, because the half that series is easily hers. There's definitely been a push, and there's definitely been a push to have more female superheroes as well. Like you look at the Eternals cast, Jane Foster up there as well, and Layla in Moon Knight. But there has certainly been a drive in Phase 4 of the MCU to have better female representation, right? Especially as superheroes and not just stuck as love interests as they so commonly were, particularly in Phase 1 and 2. Phase 1, definitely. Here's a new slide, and this time we're looking at race. Well, a kind of very simple breakdown of race when it comes to the leads in the MCU. Well, in Phase 4. So look, I mean, still dominated by white leads. I mean, obviously, that doesn't bother me. This really doesn't bother me at all. Actually, what this is showing is that minoritized race leads are exceeding their proportionate representation when it comes to Hollywood versus the US population, right? So they're exceeding that already. So there's kind of been a massive uptick in having minoritized race leads inside the MCU. We're looking, obviously, at Shuri in Wakanda Forever. We're looking at Shang-Chi. We're looking at Ms. Marvel. Like, it's really Cersei in the Eternals. It's really coming through. You know, we're finally getting some Latin leads. Kind of. It's kind of a weird one. So, I mean, one of those counts as Werewolf by Night, right, with Gael Garcia Bernal. He was definitely, obviously, a lead there. And then you've got Oscar Isaac in Moon Knight, right? But he's not playing a Latin character. He's playing a white American Jewish character. So it's a weird one there. It kind of doesn't quite compute. But, you know, it's Oscar Isaac, where it's the actor. He is in the lead there. So it kind of... I've counted it as Latin, right? That makes sense. I mean, it's in the same way that with Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas holiday season special tidings that I've counted Pom Klementieff as the lead in there alongside Dave Bautista, because even though Star-Lord is the main character of the Guardians, definitely within that holiday special, Drax and Mantis were the leads of that particular project. Yeah, and then in terms of black leads, we've obviously got Shuri from Wakanda Forever, we've got Sam Wilson from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then I was really cheeky because this is my video and I'm gonna do things how I want to do them. I took Jeffrey Wright from What If. Yeah, What If? Do you remember that animation that happened that a lot of people didn't really think worked? I thought it was brilliant, to be fair. I mean, some of it was brilliant. And then Asian characters. I mean, Asian, this had the biggest uptake of any race within the MCU. And I've kind of put in the pie chart there, as you can see, Asian all, because Asia is a massive continent and it spans a lot of different ethnicities within it alone. So obviously we have Shang-Chi, we have Ms. Marvel, we have Cersei from Eternals, and as I said, got both, well, Dave Bautista and Pom Clemente from Guardians of the Galaxy. Or just a massive, massive uptake there on lead roles for Asian all, which is brilliant. And now this is just a beautiful breakdown of both race and gender into one. The things with Marvel Phase 1, 2, and 3 is that it was completely and utterly dominated by white male leads, right? And I'm not even going to make pie charts for that, because you don't need to break down and show the numbers for it, because all you need to do is say that in 23 films, the only time there wasn't a white male lead was Black Panther and Captain Marvel in 2 films. And then even with Ant-Man and the Wasp, like, the Wasp had to share it with Ant-Man. So even though they definitely have the biggest chunk of pie within this chart, you can see just how different Phase 4 has turned up with this. And I think this is really important because, you know, a lot of people are saying how Phase 4 isn't living up to Phases 1, 2, and 3. You know, it's the start of a new saga. It's not living up to the end of the old saga. I think it's really the end, because the end was such a driving force into Infinity War and Endgame that we reached such a high point, this climax, that, of course, the beginning of the next saga, Phase 4, was never really going to reach those same heights. And instead, what it's done very well is expansion. I was watching a video the other day, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but you will see it linked in the description box down below. But they were talking about how the strong point of Phase 4 is expansion, right? How we're branching off into different areas of the cosmos, how we're branching off into different cultures, I think was the main thing. And then obviously how we're branching off with the multiverse idea and bringing in the Fox properties, bringing in the Sony properties, and really expanding this thing out. And if you're going to expand in that way, especially when expanding through different cultures, you can't do that keeping it to a certain demographic, right? You have to open up and you have to be more diverse, and you almost have to throw everything at the wall, I think. And that's definitely what Kevin Feige and Victoria Alonso and Louis D'Esposito have done with Phase 4. They've just gone, here's a load of stuff. You've seen the numbers now. You've seen, like, actually the MCU is still dominated by men, so anyone that does shout off MCU, snooze fest, yo. Yeah, look, women are becoming more powerful. Jeez, get over it. But yes, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this kind of content where we are positive and celebrate diversity and representation, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell notification. When Phase 5 of the MCU starts in February with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, you can bet I'm going to be waxing lyrical about my boy Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. Cannot wait to see him back. Loved him as He Who Remains in Loki. Okay, that's it. That's it. Hakuna MaChatter.